Oh, '06 haters are the worst. I'll talk about each level individually, in the order that Sonic goes through them. Wave Ocean. This level is like Emerald Coast and Sonic Adventure. If you ask me, Emerald Coast is better, but I like Wave Ocean too. I like the Sonic version, but to be honest, I think that Shadow's version is even better. But Silver doesn't even go through Wave Ocean. Blaze doesn't instead, and actually, Tails goes through it too, and that version is by far the worst. And the music for this level is so good. I was already hooked on the soundtrack, and this is just the first level. I'll talk about the soundtrack later, but until then, the next level. Dusty Desert. Sonic's version is amazing. There are more ways to get to the end than you think. People complain about the combat in this level. You can avoid it by going on a different pathway. During Sonic's version, you are carrying Elise, and this is where that shield I mentioned earlier comes in handy. Shadow's level, pretty good, but not as perfect as Sonic's. And Silver's, God, I hate this level. It has very meh platforming, you play as Amy, and there's a ball puzzle in the end, but if you ask me, that's the only bad level in the game. I am serious. White Acropolis. This level is basically the same with all three characters, but it feels different due to the abilities the characters have and what they do. Sonic snowboards in the beginning, Shadow drives a vehicle in the end, and you play as Blaze in the beginning of Silver. The level is pretty linear most of the time, but in the end of the level, it's a huge open space. Silver's version is my favorite, and Shadow's is the worst. Crisis City. Most people either really like this level or really hate it, and I really like it. Sonic's is awesome. It combines the things I want in a Sonic game really well. Shadow's version is good too, but again not as good as Sonic's. Silver's version is pretty different from everyone else, and I like it too. Sonic's version is my favorite. Shadow's would be my least favorite, and Silver is the in-between. The music is so good in this level. It's one of the best tracks in the game. Flame Core. Sonic's version is alright, and Shadow goes through the same exact level as Sonic does, but I think it's better with Shadow because the level suits his combat style better than that of Sonic. And this level has quite a bit of combat in it. Silver's version is the most mediocre level in the entire game. In the beginning, it's the same as Sonic's, but for the second half, it's completely different, and this is a very long level, and I think it goes on for a bit too long. But it's not a bad stage. S-ranking it made me hate it, but when I came back to it not trying to S-rank it, I thought it was alright, but to be honest, if I am replaying the stages in this game, I wouldn't really pick this one. So Shadow's the best, Silver's is the worst, and Sonic is in the middle. Radical Train. This is one of my favorite levels in the game. This level is pretty much the same with all three characters, except Sonic has a mock speed section in the end, Shadow has a mandatory motorcycle section in the end, and Silver has more combat and puzzles on it. I actually think that Silver's is the best, probably because of the combat and platforming just suits it well, I don't know. Shadow's version is the worst, and Sonic is the second best, of course, but I'd rather play Sonic's version over Silver's. Tropical Jungle. In Sonic's version, you carry Elise, but the shield doesn't provide much use in this level. It is a really good level. Heck, even Clement likes this level, but I'm curious to know what happened to Tropical Savannah. I assume that was just for advertising, but something tells me that there's more to it than that. Shadow's version, you actually play as Rouge, and you can just fly around and skip through the whole thing. But I like that since it makes you feel like you are Rouge. That's what she would do. Silver's version is just Rouge, except you can't skip through the entire thing, but it's pretty good too. I always take the higher route, no matter what I do, and I hate to mention him again, but I don't think Clement knows about the higher route. otherwise he wouldn't have complained about the slow turtle ride. So Sonic is the king of the jungle this time, while Silver is second in command, and Rouge can go fly away. Kingdom Valley. This level. Oh boy, this level is a masterpiece. In fact, I think that's the only level in the game that pretty much everyone likes. I can't describe how good Sonic's version is, and the music. Why can't I just marry the soundtrack of this game already? In fact, all three characters' versions of this level are just as good as each other's, but I think I slightly prefer Sonic's over everyone else, and Silver's is my second favorite. And I prefer his and Sonic over Shadow's because Shadow has this one portion with a hovercraft that I despise, and of course, Rouge gets stuck on the wall, but other than that, great level. Aquatic Base. This level is good. It's pretty much the same with all three characters, and this stage is the most linear level in the entire game, but still quite good. I think that Silver's is the best, Shadow is the second best, and Sonic surprisingly holds the rear. Overall, Sonic has the best stages, Silver is the second best, and Shadow is my least favorite, but I still like Shadow's gameplay. The graphics for this game are pretty good. They were ahead of their time, and I still think that they hold up pretty okay today. The soundtrack, best video game soundtrack ever. It is the definition of a masterpiece. I won't talk too much about it because people say that the soundtrack is the only good thing about the game, but it's very atmospheric and upbeat. Each song suits the level very well. Some tracks are really calm, like Aquatic Base. Some are fast-paced and upbeat, like Wave Ocean's Mach Speed sections, and some are intense, like Crisis City. Hub worlds are in the game, just like the original Sonic Adventure, and they're okay in this game. Soliana Castletown is an okay hub world. People complain about it being too big, but I think it's fine. It's alright once you memorize it, which, to be honest, didn't take me much time. Soliana New City is pretty good. People complain about the hubs not having any memorable locations, but this one does. You got the shop, the train station, the warehouse. Soliana Forest is pretty boring. It's just a huge open space with nothing to do. And there's also multiplayer in the game. There are two different modes, tag or battle. They pretty much speak for themselves. And yeah, it's the same level design from the single player. There's one more thing. Every action game needs a villain and some violence. So how about those boss fights? I won't talk about every individual boss fight, but Sonic's range from meh to good, and I think that the Egg Wyvern and Iblis Tapeworm are bad bosses for Sonic. Shadows are good, but Shadow fights the Iblis Tapeworm too, so that counts as a bad boss. Silver fights are good too, but Egg Genesis with Silver is a pretty bad fight. The camera sucks, and when you try to hit it, sometimes the auto aim works, sometimes it doesn't, and after you hit enough, a piece of the ship will come off, but when that happens, it is invincible. I get why they did this. They didn't want the boss to be too easy, but I'm Silver! Come on, let me throw 10 missiles at it while it's defenseless. That would make it more satisfying. Don't make me wait for its invincibility period to go away. That's bad design. My favorite boss for Sonic is Egg Genesis, my favorite Shadow would be Mephiles Phase 2, and Silver would be Iblis Phase 2. That sums up everything. So, do I think that Sonic 06 is one of the worst games of all time, let alone within the past 10 years? No, not at all. I'd actually put 06 on my list of top 7 Sonic games of all time, and I think that it's the second best modern Sonic game behind the HD version of Unleashed. speaking of Unleashed, you had to respect 06's existence. Hey, that kind of rhymes. Sometimes you have to hit rock bottom to get good again, and they did with Colors and Generations. I think it's about time I start giving games a proper score. I didn't do it with Sonic Advance because I didn't really think about it, and I didn't do it with Riders because it felt a bit unnecessary, but I'll pretty much use the Sonic Unleashed ranking system. S is the highest, A is the second highest, and so on. I'm adding stuff like A+ or A- and stuff to the score. So I'll give Sonic 06 a B+, and I think that this game is actually better than Shadow the Hedgehog. A lot of people online in YouTube comments and stuff say that I'm an idiot or a stupid fanboy for liking 06, but I'm gonna ignore them. And I suggest that you do the same, because they're being jerks and wasting their time. Well, that's if, of course, if you like 06, like I do. Anyway, as I was saying, because of this, in live streams and stuff, I'm afraid to admit my opinion on the game, unless I'm watching Emmy, Volcano the Bat, or Premi de Remy. Probably because Emmy accepts whatever you have to say, unless your name is Tails Channel, and Volcano and Premi are the ones who actually like the game. Everywhere else is just like, oh, you mentioned Sonic 06, how dare you bring that up? I'm so Iblis triggered. Due to how much hate this game gets, I'd really only recommend it to those who are curious or want to have a good laugh, but I'm not going to be the judge of that. You should decide. If you want to, look up some no commentary gameplay on YouTube and see if it looks like your cup of tea. If so, I guess you can rent it, if such a thing is still possible to do, but approach with caution. But hey, even though 06 is considered a bad game, in the speedrunning community, it's considered one of the best games to do a run of. Very ironically.
Don't! Stop! Stop this madness! Are you serious? This game is a lie! This game is a lie!
What did I just watch? Anyway, I thank you all for watching this video. Like if you enjoyed all that stuff, and if you didn't like what I had to say about Sonic 06 due to how unpopular my opinion is, well, I don't think you'll like what I had to say for the next review when I talk about Sonic Colors. One more thing, though. I don't know if this will be before or after the Colors review. Probably before, but Spider-Man Homecoming has hit theaters pretty recently, and I haven't seen the movie, but to celebrate its release, I'll do a video about my thoughts on the original Amazing Spider-Man movie from 2012. Until then, take care. Yeah, whether you believe it or not, I don't actually have a blooper for the end. I did not mess up a single time when recording this part of the review. The time that you wish you'd mess up, you don't.